Tell us in the chat if you can see us.
if you can hear us. Oh,
no.
I hear myself.
Wait. Maybe. Hi, everybody. Can you see us? Anyone?
It says
it says on screen.
Not yet.
Yes.
Oh, somebody says yes.
Oh my
God.
Everything's echoing.
Okay.
Sorry. It's not echoing for me.
Yay!
It's not echoing for me either. Yay! Okay. Oh my God. Hello.
So now we're going to try and do is get Chris on. I don't know if that can still happen, but it seems like people can see in here. So that can be the next thing. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. It's funny because they can't talk back to us, but I hope they're probably all talking to us right now.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to try and get Chris up on screen, everyone. Everybody, it sounds like refreshing works. Okay. Sarah, should we introduce ourselves and our guests?
Yes. Welcome, everyone, to Fated Mates. It's Bookstore Romance Day, and we're having a special episode, a live episode with many of our faves. I'm Sarah McLean. I read romance novels and I write them.
I'm Jennifer Pokop, a romance reader and editor. And we have two of our guests. We're waiting for our last guest to get on screen, hopefully.
For me, it's Christina and Lauren, but I don't know if that's true for everybody. So Christina is wearing yellow.
Christina.
And Lauren is wearing a cardigan.
And I'm sweating, but I'm kind of naked underneath. So it's gonna stay.
And we also have C. Travis Rice joining us. He is in the chat with you. We are going to do everything we can to get him in.
Okay.
Lois branded.
Nice.
I'm not.
Sorry. Get out. No. Okay. He's here, but he can't seem to get in. So we're hoping.
We have other people drinking out of their Fated Mates tumblers.
That's
Cheers.
nice.
Yay.
That's nice.
Lauren, there is a question in the chat. Is your hair mauve?
I mean, I don't know what color it is. It's kind of like purpley.
It is.
Blonde. Is
Rosy Goldie.
Yeah.
It is Rosy Goldie. All right. While we're waiting, hopefully for Christopher to get in, we have a question for everybody. We thought this would be fun. People in the chat can answer for themselves as well. Okay. If you had to go somewhere where you needed walk-up music, like you're a professional wrestler or something, what would your walk-up music be? That's my question.
Or like an Academy Award winner.
No, they just played the Academy Award song.
I guess. But
I mean, okay. Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses.
Yes!
It's such a good opener. And I love it so much.
I just imagine her doing that and things are like exploding behind her. And,
that's funny. That's
this is a moment where, like, when somebody asks these questions, you can't remember. Like, have I heard a song?
You've never heard a song.
Never heard a song before in my life.
All I do is win. Okay, that's a very good answer in the chat, by the way.
Oh yeah. Goodbye, Earl.
So mine
is
that one. George Michael's Too Funky.
Okay. I like it.
All right.
Which has been true since college.
Like you're committed.
All right. Yeah. Christina, what about you? Do you have one?
I cannot think. Mine would be something goofy as I.
No, hers would be like Xanadu.
Oh, yes. Okay, there we go. There we go. It's that, like,
perfect.
You know, in the beginning. There we go.
R.I.P. Olivia Newton-John.
I know. It's so sad.
So I have two Xanadu shirts. I had to wear them all.
That's really funny. That's amazing. This is ironic because I do not write books, but I do have walk-up music when I do book talks at the middle school assemblies. And my walk-up music is Every Day I Write the Book by Elvis Costello.
Oh, I love that one. That's
perfect. So I don't write the book, but the whole like chapter 1, he kind of like starts there. So
I really do love that song.
Feels like we could all be Paperback Writer by the Beatles.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Very clever.
Christina, what's on your t-shirt? Who's going to pick Pony? Listen, Susan.
It's National Park.
National Park. Is it all of them?
Yes, and it came with a marker, and you're supposed to mark the national parks that you've been to.
How many have you been to?
Probably like 5.
Well, this leads us sort of directly into our next bit, so this is well done.
like
that
it.
segue.
Canyonlands is on here.
I was going to
What
say, why
is
don't you
it?
talk to us about that special national park and how inspiring it was for you? And tell us about your book, the book that you just had out at the beginning of the summer.
Lo is very good at doing our book pitch.
So
I'll let
every
her do it.
partnership, as you know, as Fated Mates, has a role, right?
Yes.
And when it comes to giving the little synopsis,
Okay.
that's just not Christina's role.
When it comes
so
to
maybe
giving
Lo could explain the
information.
book,
Yeah.
and then Christina could tell us about the park because
Yeah.
she's wearing the shirt.
Excellent. Okay, so Something Wilder
Very nice. There it is.
is about Leo Grady and Lily Wilder, and that is a nod to Joan Wilder from Romancing the Stone, which is one of our favorite all-time movies. And it's one of the movies that we really tried to capture the feel of that in the book.
Available
And,
right now from Love Sweet Arrow. You can
yes,
click on the buy link.
Okay, so it's the story of Leo Grady and Lily Wilder, and they were together when they were younger, and they have been separated by time and circumstance. You'll find out why as you read. And they're thrown back together when Leo's group of guy friends goes on an adventure with Lily's expedition company, and she takes tourists out into the Canyonlands on these fake treasure hunts. So everything on the trip goes sideways, and they have to decide, these two former flames have to decide if they trust each other enough to go after what they think might be a real treasure after all. So it's adventure, it's romance. There's only one sleeping bag.
That's Jen's favorite microtrope.
It is my favorite microtrope. That's actually amazing. Sarah.
Wait, but I want to hear about the park.
Oh, the Canyonlands. Okay.
Because Christina
okay.
did so much research.
She did.
So I live in Utah. Some people don't know that. Well, some people don't know there are two of us. There are two of us. Surprise. I live in Utah. Lo lives in Orange County, California. And as some of you might know, Canyonlands National Park is in Southeast Utah. I am in Northern Utah. But when we were sort of outlining and working on this book, we rented a house together in St. George, which is Southern Utah. And as we looked out this like sliding glass door, it was just like red mountains. And it's just so beautiful. The dirt is literally red. And a lot of people like think of the desert as this like place that there's nothing living, there's no color or anything, but it is one of the most beautiful places you've ever been to. It looks like almost alien, like you're on another planet or something.
Mars.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. If you ever have a chance to go, you should absolutely go.
Nice. All right, Sarah, you're up next.
I have a book out on Tuesday.
You do.
Yeah.
No, listen, everybody. So you are not going to probably be able to buy this, obviously, at your independent bookstore tomorrow, but you can pre-order it, right?
Unless you are in Connecticut, in which case you should join me and Tessa Bailey at Independent Bookstore RJ Julia, which is a big fan of Christina Lauren as well, in Madison, Connecticut. And you can join us at 4 p.m. tomorrow and get special 3-day early copies.
Treatments.
That is going to be amazing. I wish we were going.
It's going to be really fun.
So tell us.
So Heartbreaker is the second in my Hell's Bells series, which is about a Victorian era girl gang that enjoys justifiably punching men in the face and also smashing men in other ways. So
I like it.
Badasses.
But this is about the Hell's Bells are a gang of many women, but the four who are the first 4 books in the series, let's say, cross your fingers, are a femme fatale, who is the heroine of Bombshell, Adelaide, a remarkable thief, Imogen, who is an explosives expert and chaotic in all ways, and then Duchess, who is the one with the plan. And so this is Adelaide, who has stolen an item from a duke and is now on a race across England to save a young woman from possible certain death.
So lots of people really... Sorry, go ahead.
You know what comment I keep seeing over and over again? Number one, that it's fun, but that it is dirt. Hey.
I keep saying that
Every
too.
TikTok, every Instagram review, everything is like,
Well,
it is dirty.
Okay, but
he's
it takes
like
a little bit.
daddy.
It takes a little bit. Like there's like a little bit up front, and then the reader, there's like the us, what we call the unresolved sexual tension for a little while. And then it's just like amazing.
So there's like road trip, there's like a little bit of danger, there's a little bit of sick bed healing, and then there's like several chapters of daddy.
I have to say, when I am not done with it, as I was reading it, there's like this beautiful, like this like wedding. You think it's just going to be a normal wedding, and then all hell breaks loose, and I was like, of course, here we go.
Chapter 1.
It's great. Our Fated Mates episode coming up on Wednesday will be about the episode. No spoilers, or about the book, so no spoilers. So if you want to hear a whole lot more about Heartbreaker, you will be able to do that on Wednesday.
Kristen is asking, is there a good girl? And I have to say, Kristen, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I think
somebody just said good girl is uttered.
Is uttered. That's amazing.
I highlighted it.
That's awesome. Okay. We're still hoping Christopher Rice will get back in. Okay, so here's our question, everybody, in honor of Bookstore Romance Day. Talk to us about your favorite.
Oh wait,
do you have an update for us?
Updates?
No, I just lost the screen. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay. Tell us about your favorite indie bookstore and why you love shopping there, or why you support it, because all of your books are available, like, right, all of you at indie bookstores. So tell us about that.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
what?
Poor Christopher Roman. Christopher looks like he cannot get in. But you
well,
know
wait,
what?
before then, can we talk about Sapphire Sunset?
Yeah, let's talk about his book before he goes. Yeah.
So,
Yes, and he has a giant Amazon billboard today.
Yeah, I think it's a different book, but his series is so good. It's like gay Nora Roberts, and I love it so much. It's really, really good. And honestly, the second book is so much. The first book, it was amazing, and I was just like so obsessed with it. The second one, I think, is even better, which I think is a really hard thing to do in a series, which Sarah McLean also just did with Heartbreaker. So.
Thank you
So
very
tell
much.
us,
but
maybe what's the title? We're going to put it in the chat so that people can get on ordering.
I'm going to try and find the image.
Oh no,
I can't remember. Sorry.
Okay, Sapphire Sunset.
Sapphire Sunset. Okay. I was like
Sapphire Coast, Sapphire Sunset. And the covers are great. I feel like they really exude old school romance, but they embrace kind of a modern feel. And they're gay and they're sexy and they're smutty and it's wonderful. And I just love that he's totally embracing the romance side of his writing right now. It's been really fun. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
wasn't
actually
he saying
bummed that
you went
Christopher
and
isn't here because he is such a big romance reader too. And
I know.
it's awesome.
He is. He's great.
This is our second time striking out with Christopher, but that just means that there is going to be a third times the charm in our future.
That's right. And it's going to be the most amazing event ever.
I just believe in it. So this is a small.
We're going to figure it out.
That's going to be awesome later. Yeah.
But wait, I figured it out. If you live in New York, you can head over to Times Square today and check out the Amazon billboard there. And Decimate is 1 million stories tall. So congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah, it's really cool. It was exciting. He posted it on his Instagram feed today too, so you guys can see him at author Chris Rice.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put the link in here.
Perfect. Third time's the charm. Yeah,
we're follow Chris on Twitter and Instagram. He's the best, and he loves romance. And we talked about Sapphire Sunset on our Sex on the Beach episode.
Oh, that's right.
They don't
actually
fully have sex on the beach, but they really make out on the beach, and it's hot, and I'm for it.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite indie bookstore on screen, everybody? We have lots of people telling us in the chat. It's awesome.
My favorite indie bookstore, I mean, it's hard because I have a lot, but in my state, obviously I'm very close to the Ripped Bodice. Yeah. My longtime favorite indie indie bookstore is Mysterious Galaxy, and it is a genre bookstore. They embrace all genre. They are the kind of booksellers, which is true for all indie booksellers, that read constantly. And so whenever you ask them to handpick something, they really come through with just like the most perfect recommendations. They are in San Diego, and I just love them. Mysterious Galaxy.
Yay.
They're great.
Sarah?
My local indie bookstore is called The King's English.
Oh, fun. Okay.
It's in Salt Lake City. It's like this little adorable place that looks like a little Harry Potter. It's like a small house that's been added onto and added onto and added onto. And the thing that I love about them is that they're just constantly like changing, and they have really learned in the last like year and a half to embrace romance. They never had a romance section. And then they put one in. They had like a shelf, like a bookcase that was romance. And they were like, I went in to sign books, which I'm going there tomorrow to sign books. And they were like, we put them out and people just come and they buy them. And we're like, yes, if you put romance out,
Yeah, people
will come buy them. They love to see the books on the shelf. They don't want to have to ask. Yeah. And so it's been really great to see them just absolutely like embrace romance. And now they have an entire wall.
Then they have the Tunnel of Love.
Yes, they had a big sign over it that it was called the Tunnel of Love because it's like a hall that goes into the next section. So
I'm going to come visit you, Christina, and go.
It's a really cute bookstore. It's like this cute little old house feel, but it's like you walk. It's like Mary Poppins carpet bag. Like you walk in and it's like, whoa, this is way bigger than you would have expected.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And I just love because if you go into an indie bookstore and you are like, I love second chance romance, I love age gap, whatever it is, brother's best friend, they can tell you exactly. They can be like, come on, let's go, and just like fill your arms full of books. And I love it.
I love that. And I also love that story about King's English because I feel like Bookstore Romance Day exists now, and it definitely didn't when we all started writing.
Yeah.
And indie bookstores have, so many of them have turned this corner and seen that romance readers are super voracious.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about my two favorites.
Yeah, good.
Well, obviously my local indie is Word, and I literally spent 2 days this week in a basement at Word with the people who work there, and
signing
I love
mountains
them so
of
much.
books.
Sorry?
Signing mountains.
Mountains. I signed a lot of books, and that was great. And so many people supported indies by buying Heartbreaker from there. But for those of you who have littles, if you ever find yourself in Rhode Island, there is a bookstore called Savoy, and it's in Westerly, which is where Taylor Swift lives. And it's the most beautiful bookstore I've ever been in. And it has these magnificent little fairy houses built into the molding at the floor.
Oh
so if you crouch down and you can open a door, and then there's like a little fairy's room
that is
full of little miniature books and like little libraries. And if a child leaves a note for the fairies, the fairies write back.
Oh my God.
I can't even. That's amazing.
It's the cutest thing.
That's so cute.
Look, someone in Rhode Island has never heard of it. They'll be able to go. That's amazing.
Yay! Kate, you have to go. It's so good. And honestly, you have to bring like a 6-year-old.
Just find one out on the street if you don't have one.
Pick one up. It's fine.
I have a Rhode Island question because I am a West Coaster and the East Coast geography is sort of a mystery to me. Mm-hmm. How far is the farthest point in Rhode Island to like the other farthest point? You know what I mean?
It's like 45 minutes.
What?
I'm married to a Californian, and it makes him crazy because I'm like, why can't we just do a day trip from San Francisco to LA?
I mean, you can, but you won't see anything.
You'll see the 5.
Yeah.
So Kate, bring a child. And Kate says you could do it in 30.
It's like 30.
Well, it's funny because my son goes to college in Connecticut. And so I'm taking him back. And I have never been to Rhode Island, but I will have a car. And I'm like, maybe I'll just like drive over the border and like kind of add it to I only have like, I think there's only like 10 states I haven't been to. And it's like kind of that upper corner. And then like actually like Montana,
Jen,
North Dakota. So
when I come, we won't be far from
Yeah.
Rhode Island. So what we can do now, this is down the rabbit hole. This is not going to be about romance novels at all. Rhode Island is really weird. So there's New England clam chowder.
Oh,
But there's also Rhode Island clam chowder.
Well,
So
and
is it-
it's very different.
Is it like Manhattan, more like Manhattan or more like New England?
So Manhattan clam chowder has tomato in it.
Yeah, nobody wants
Clearly
that.
that's
I was
Right.
going to say, isn't one of them pink?
There.
Okay.
New England clam chowder is made with a base of cream, but Rhode Island clam chowder is made with a base of fish broth. And
Mm.
it's much
it's
lighter and much more delicious. And we also have a thing called clam cakes. So what we should do is we'll chowder you in the morning.
there you go. Perfect. Amazing. Well, the other place I'm very excited to go when I am taking Little Romance back to college is there's a place in Niantic called the Book Barn. And it apparently is like a used bookstore that like spans 4 buildings. And I'm very interested in experiencing this. So that's my plan.
We're
I'm
gonna
I
go.
like it.
Buildings.
That's
Yeah.
a solid plan.
Right?
Anyway,
And of course, as a Chicagoan, Love Sweet Arrow is one of my local indies. So everybody can support them by clicking on the link below. Although I don't know if it's working, but you can just go right to their website. And then in my neighborhood is 57th Street Bookstore. And the reason that is such a cool place is they have a very small romance section, but for a while pre-pandemic, we had a romance book club there, and a lot of my romance buddies in town are people I met through my book club. So that's really fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Kristen says the Book Barn is on her bucket list. So Kristen, we're going to go and we're going to do an Instagram live from there. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Faded Mates Pod.
We're clearly going to be running it from Faded Mates Pod because I don't know how to do an Instagram live from my own. So,
So I'll handle it.
It's like
Okay.
boop boop, Jen. You got
sure,
this.
you say that, but
so
yeah.
I do the same thing. I forget to post it as soon as I'm done, and it's gone forever.
Okay.
So,
So,
Let's play some
Sarah, are
games.
we ready for your thing?
We want to do mine first?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Oh,
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a round robin recommendation, you guys. But because everybody here is so smart, we're going to do it with a twist, which means
I'm not that smart.
somebody's going to recommend a romance,
Okay.
talk about it, tell us about it, and why we should buy it from Love Sweet Arrow or another independent bookseller. And then someone else is going to go, oh, you said some random thing.
Okay, I'm going first.
okay, fine.
You did.
And I have an idea that relates.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a big idea, you know.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Right.
Mm.
Something wilder has sex in a desert. Oh, wait, let's talk about Lacey Alexander, who also has sex on sand.
Sure.
You guys can like recall titles and authors. It's like some sort of superpower.
I
Listen,
know.
Christina,
I
the
can't
last
even
time
remember
we
my
played a
own
game-
titles.
The last time we played a game like this with you, though, you brought nodding to the table.
That's
So
right. She did.
I think it's fine. I believe in you,
I
Christina.
believe in you.
Okay.
Okay. Lo, you're going first.
All right. Well, I am going to start. Well, I want to start with Georgie, but you can't get that yet. So
That's
everybody
rough.
has to pre-order Georgie Along by Kate Claiborne. It is amazing. But I'm going to start with How to Fake It in Hollywood. It's by Ava Wilder. I really enjoyed it. The premise is he is an actor, kind of a like 40-something actor. He's had lost his best friend. He's down and out, dealing with alcoholism. He's got to like get his stuff together. She is an up-and-coming younger actress, and they want to kind of get more exposure and bigger roles for her. So they have the two of them fake date. He needs an image improvement, and she needs a boost in her visibility. And so their publicist puts them together. And they do not get along at first, and then they really do. And I just loved it. It felt very real. It was like very well written. I really loved it. And I begged her for her second book today, and it's in my inbox.
Yay!
Which one? What was it called?
How to Fake It in Hollywood by Ava Wilder.
Okay.
All right. I have two, but I'm happy to
You go.
cede my slot.
No, you go. If you're ready, you go.
All right. Do you want me to jump off of celebrities or alcoholism?
I mean, alcoholism.
I really gave you some fun.
That was not
fun
okay because
ground.
I had we almost have something very awkward, everybody.
Okay. So Lo said alcoholism. So I'm going to recommend Lisa Kleypas's Again the Magic, which has, I've said this many, many times, the best, hands down, secondary love story in romance. The main love story, however, is a long time second chance love story between two absolutely wild about each other best friends who are forced apart because of class differences. He works in the stables. She is the lady, like she's the daughter of the earl. They fall wildly in love. They're teenagers. They like explore with each other, but he won't have sex with her because he understands she has to keep her virginity. And then he gets sort of run off the estate and she chases him away in kind of a Harry and the Hendersons style. I don't love you anymore. Get out.
Harry and the Hendersons.
That's one of my favorite micro tropes. And then he comes back rich and handsome and perfect in every way. And he's there to punish her and show her what she's missed and ruin her family and everything about her. But he loves her so much. And she, of course, had a tragic thing. And there's a big secret, and it's all remarkable because it's Lisa Kleypas. And the secondary love story is this beautiful love story between a jaded American bajillionaire who is an alcoholic and her younger sister who is broken in her own way, and they heal each other, and it's amazing.
What is this one called?
Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas. Oh my God,
Christina, listen.
Okay, you have to order this book right now from your local independent bookstore.
Oh, Lo's gonna be back. Okay.
Or from Love Sweet Arrow.
Or from Love Sweet Arrow. It is. It's two romance novels in one. It's great.
It's so good.
Okay. Christina, do you want to go? Or do you want
I cannot think of anything at this moment that has to do with like Harry and the Hendersons and alcoholism.
Like alcoholism.
Second chances, childhood love story.
Big tragedy.
Like you guys, I like read nonstop, and I'm sitting here like going through my Kindle, like what is
funny.
All right, Jen. Far-reaching. You need one that has lots of things.
I know. It's really funny. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about let me think. See, I was like, I really thought Christina was gonna pick it up. So I was like, yeah, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna tell you actually about, like, I was really interested in the thing you said, which was like someone feels broken, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I am reading a book called Ride the Wreck by Max Walker.
Wow.
And before I tell you about this book, I'm going to actually tell you about how I found this book, because I think this is something everyone should do. So I met this author at a Polycon, and he was sitting at a table. And one of the things about, like, if you ever go to a big signing and there's just like gazillions of authors, it's so easy to like just go to the authors you know. So one of the things I like to do is go to like a couple of authors I've never heard of before and say, and this is what I said. So I met Max Walker, and he was sitting there, and I was like, okay, what's your best book? And he was like, well, you know, like, he tried to be all coy. Like, I don't have a best book. And I was like, look, we all know that you know which one is the best. Which one is your best book?
I can absolutely see this.
Right? I was totally like
berating this poor person.
Listen, sell it to me. Which one is your best book? You know. So he gave me this one. And here's the part that's that I really love. So there are two, okay. The character who feels a little broken is named Elijah. And the reason he feels this way is he is pretty young, like kind of mid-20s. He is a drag queen, but he has been getting threats from any kind of like vague threats, and they've been escalating. And he is so scared by this happening that he feels like he has to maybe stop doing drag, right? Because he just feels like I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And so this is like really hard for him because he loves it. It brings him so much joy, but he's afraid he's like literally putting himself in danger. So the other hero is named Ryan Diaz, and Ryan is part of, this is actually really cool, part of a gay detective agency called Stonewall Investigations. And what they do is they essentially, like, everyone is gay or trans or whatever, right, in the queer community. And they like especially try to help people in their own community. So Elijah, of course, hooks up with Brian, and they're going to like find out, like get to the bottom of this. And there's like a serial killer on the loose. I mean, it's like really like almost like a romance mystery. But I really was sort of taken in by it, and I just really, so anyway, if you're ever somewhere and you see an author and you're like, just that's a strategy I really like, is like, give me your best book, and then it's a great way to meet new authors. And then when you go to those big signings, you're not just like kind of churning through the same authors you already know. So
I love that. It's a great recommendation.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm like detective agency.
I know, I'm sorry, drag queens. There was a lot going on there. Murder.
You know what?
Okay, murder.
I know what you should do.
Okay, you got it.
She's got it.
So the last like romance I read was My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey.
Terrific.
There you go.
So that is about, I cannot even remember her name in it. Does anybody know?
No. Who remembers the names of people?
Okay, so she goes to a beach house with her brother to have this vacation. He's like sort of like is having some problems, and she takes care of him. She's like the big sister and loves him so much. So she goes to this beautiful beach house, and it has this amazing tub, and she gets ready to get into this tub, and she smells something in the house, and she can't figure out what it is. And when she's like getting ready to sink into this tub, she notices some like dots on the ceiling, like in the molding. And so she gets out, she gets her brother, she looks, and it looks like somebody has put a camera or something like that in it. Like it's a thing where somebody can like for a peeping Tom. And they search the house and they find a body. And so because there's this body, this like, I don't think he's a detective. Who else read it? Help me here. He comes and
he's a detective. Sure, fine.
He's a detective. He's like, he used to be a police officer, and he comes, he's been hired by somebody to investigate the death. And it just has like mystery and so much sex, and it's funny. It's just,
he's a bounty hunter. Sure.
He's a bounty hunter. Thank you. Thank you. Look, I did it.
You did it.
Perfect.
I'm so proud of you.
You did great.
Okay.
I am so terrible. Like, pick one.
Wait, what's our time? Do we have 15 minutes, or do we have a little extra? What are we doing?
Can we go over?
Yeah, I think we can probably go over. Okay.
So do you want to do
another
round?
I think we should play another round. Yeah, because we want to recommend books that people can find tomorrow. Yeah. So, hot tubs.
I can go, but
Airbnbs, vacations, creepy cameras, any of those things.
Yeah. I'm like,
I do not read a lot of romantic suspense.
I have a lot of non-romance stuff but this is Romance Bookstore.
All right, I'll go. Beaches.
Okay, beaches.
So I want to talk about Tracy Livesey, who is one of our favorites of Fated Mates. But if you've never read anything by Tracy, you should absolutely run to Love Sweet Arrow or your local independent bookstore and buy Like Lovers Do, which is a friends to lovers romance that features a heroine who is like a high-powered physician at a hospital. She's like a surgeon at a hospital, and she gets, because of sexism and racism and just general awfulness, like pushed out of her job. And luckily, her best friend, like in the world, his parents are on the board of this hospital. And he just happens to need a fake relationship for a family vacation on Martha's Vineyard. So they make a deal that she will go as his, partner for this vacation. And over the course of the time there, she'll be able to kind of schmooze his parents and potentially get her job back at this hospital. Needless to say, these two people are great friends, and they are even better in this sack. So Tracy's books are flaming hot and perfect in every way. And this is, I think, one of my favorites by her.
Me too. It's really good.
I do love her writing. I haven't read that one, so I'm gonna get that one. You said Friends to Lovers.
Yep.
And I just Googled because this is an author and she just got her rights back on this book. So I'm going to ask her what she's doing with it because I'm going to recommend it. Jen has also read it. Everybody needs to get it. It's called Loud Is How I Love You.
Oh, it's so good.
Mercy Brown. And for anyone who was in the sort of heart of their 20s in the 1990s, this book is for you. It is like so nostalgic. It's considered historical romance now because it takes place in the 1990s.
No, ma'am.
By a lot of people. I was cracking up because all of the there were a bunch of reviews that were like, this is such a cute historical. Anyway.
I mean, whoa.
Cute historical.
I didn't know she got her
That's
rights back.
insulting.
Yeah. So it had been published with a traditional publisher, but it was digital only. And she has rights back. So I'm hoping that she puts it back out because it's wonderful. And the story is Emmy is the lead singer and of this band. I forget what the band is called. Soft.
Oh my God. I cannot believe she even remembers. She read this like 8 years ago.
But I've read it so many times. And he is the guitarist. And they have been in this band. She has a super strict rule. You do not hook up with a bandmate.
That's appropriate.
Of course, she sleeps with her guitarist. And it's this like small band of her and like 3 or 4 guys. They're all super tight knit. And it is like this incredible sex. And he is this tall, lanky, shy, like Timberland boot wearing, like shaggy 90s, alternative guitar hero. And he's so sweet. He like writes on her with Sharpie, which does not sound sexy, but that scene is very sexy. Yeah. And I seriously love this book so much. It's called Loud Is How I Love You, and it's Friends to Lovers.
Nice.
And I love it.
All right.
Okay, you said it was historical.
I mean, I was kidding, but I want you to run with it. Go.
Well, so the first one that I thought of was To Have and to Hoax. I mean, obviously there's like amazing historical authors sitting right here. But I can't remember who wrote To Have and to Hoax.
It's Martha
Waters.
Martha Waters. And I cannot remember the summary of it right this very second. So the next one I'll say is Angelica Frankenstein.
There you go.
That's a great one.
So Angelica Frankenstein is by Sally Thorne, and that is about Dr. Frankenstein's like fictional obviously, sister Angelica, who and for those of you who know Sally, she has a haunted dollhouse, and so that was sort of the inspiration for the story. It's called Blackthorn Manor because her name is Thorne. So Angelica, the book like opens, she's sort of the spinster sister.
Even though she's like in her 20s.
She's in her 20s. She's sort of disagreeable and stuff. And it starts out with them going to the morgue, and she's essentially going to like find parts to make her a husband. And like, really, I hope that this line, I have not read the finished book yet. I hope this line still made it in. But I like read this very early version, and there was this moment where she says she picks the second biggest cock because she's not greedy. And as soon as I read that, I was like, oh my God, okay, so get ready. And
I do want people to be open to like Sally doing a different thing.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I just read this book and it was delightful.
It's delightful. It's so weird.
Totally weird.
And Angelica has one of the best like character arcs. Like she goes from being this sort of like selfish, kind of like self-absorbed person,
difficult to love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the whole time at the beginning, the first third of the book, you think to yourself, like, how is this all going to work out? Mm-hmm. And Sally is just so talented, and her weird brain is so great. And
It's like Sally and Tim Burton did a collaboration,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
And they like put
And it-
out this book.
It
Yeah.
was just so different, and that's what I love. And I think that's why like the Hell's Bells are so great, because they just like, you think you see this like beautiful woman on the cover, and you think you know what you're getting when you open it, and then it's these badasses who are like literally leaving men in the dust, and people are afraid of them, and they're like notorious, and I like, they're so great, and I just love people stepping outside the box of what we all expect.
Yeah.
And doing something that's like will not leave them.
Angelica Frankenstein feels like a book Sally really wanted to write, and she had to get it out of her brain, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love that journey for her.
That my little profile picture is me holding Bombshell. I don't remember when I updated that, but was the last time I
Must
did
have been the last time we did
Crowdcast.
All right, Jen, what's happening?
All right, you said weird, and I am going to wreck one of my all-time favorite Susan Elizabeth Phillips books, which is Kiss an Angel, which I'm going to tell you this plot, and you're either going to be like, no fucking way.
I just want to see, do either of you know the plot of this book?
Do you guys know this book?
But if you guys knew how many older paperbacks I have bought on eBay and stuff based on your guys' recs, it is crazy.
I'm gonna watch.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch their faces. Now I know what to do while you describe.
I'm like, I don't even think I'm like, I need to clear it all out. Okay, so this book starts with Daisy is our heroine, and it is basically it's her wedding day, and her father is like, you can either go to jail essentially or get married to this mystery man I've chosen for you. And it turns out that this man she's going to marry, his name is Alex Markov, and he is a descendant of the Romanovs. And wait, listen. And
this
it
is
turns
not
out
historical.
No, this is like in the 90s, right? So
I love that she just goes all in.
Yeah, he's a descendant. Yeah, this is the like opening scene. He's a descendant of the Romanovs, and her father is a descendant of like a family that essentially served the Romanovs. And so her father has this dream of like putting these two together, because he's like, I will basically be carrying on the proud Romanov line with my DNA, right? So Daisy gets married, and he's like a art history professor and has like a place in Connecticut and drives a nice car. But in the summers and when he is on sabbatical from his university, he goes and works at a circus. So Daisy does not go to his nice home in Connecticut. Instead, she goes to the circus. And this is like a real beaten down, like bad circus. This isn't like a really like, the nice one that goes to the United Center. This is like in the Kmart parking lot. So no, really. So anyway, there's like a menagerie of animals. And what he tells Daisy is it's called Kiss an Angel. It's problematic, but amazing. It's old. It's fine. Okay. So he says everybody needs a job at the circus. You can't just sit around and do nothing.
You can't just be my idle wife.
Yeah, right. You can't just be idle. So she takes the job of like working with the animals, and they like push her around, but then she starts to realize they're really mistreated. And
she talks to them.
Yeah, she like there's a tiger that she has like a one-on-one like ESP kind of communication with. Look at Christina.
This is important, Christina.
Yes, right. So
I'm like, this is
one-on-one with this tiger, and then it also his role in the circus is he like is like it's very Indiana Jones, like does like a whip routine. And he trains her to like be the pretty woman that he like whips. And
she holds things, and
he holds like a flower and he like whips it out or whatever, right? So anyway, they actually kind of fall in love, and the whole thing is completely bananas. He is terrible to her, which means that there's a lot of really good groveling. And I read
the greatest grovel in romance.
Yeah, it's the greatest grovel in romance. And you know what else? She is like really like you were talking about Angelica, like I don't know, like kind of on a journey. Daisy's on a journey, right? Her entire life, people just thought she was flighty and dumb. And instead she like discovers that she's actually pretty great.
Wait, did you say that did I miss you saying that he has like a PhD in literature? and
He's
is a
professor.
Yeah,
At a college in
but like
Connecticut.
on summer.
Sure, but no, and
He's summer
sabbatical.
vacations as
He's summer
the wig
vacations
master
is the wig
at the
man
circus.
at the local circus. Yeah, no, it's amazing. The whole thing is completely bananas.
Perfect.
Like,
There's an elephant, there's a gorilla,
Yeah.
there's a tiger.
yeah,
I'm reading the comments to see what I missed when I had to go let my kid in the locked door. I'm just like,
yeah, no, it's really
Tiger. I miss Tiger.
she
ESP
can
with the tiger.
communicate. She can
Yes,
communicate
tiger
with it.
ESP.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
in fact, she's so
I should have
outraged.
guessed that.
It's
She's
science, Lo.
She's so outraged at the tiger's treatment that sometimes she takes the tiger out of the cage, and in the morning they like romp around in the fields together. You know,
The tiger.
with the tiger.
As you
Sometimes
do.
when she
Husband
gets
does.
sad, she sleeps in the cage with the Tyler.
Yeah,
Tiger.
that's true. So anyway, it's completely the most bananas romance I've ever read, and I've read it 73 times because I love it so much.
Your guys' recall of romance, like obscure romance and stuff from like
It's
30 years
amazing.
ago, is so amazing. Whenever, like, my husband was listening, I was listening to the podcast one day and he was like in the bathroom doing something. And he was like, who are these guys? Are smart. Because you guys were just like, oh, like this. Oh, like this. And I'm like, Google. It's crazy.
So good.
Well, you can order all of the books that we talked about today through Love's Sweet Arrow or your local independent bookseller.
Mhm.
Even
Do
the
we
one
wanna
that Jen
take
just talked about
couple
is still in print.
questions?
Oh yeah, it's
Yes,
still in
it's in
print. It's
print.
Susan Elizabeth Phillips.
Oh,
Okay,
Mary
how-
Elizabeth
what
put
year
up
is
with
it?
it.
It has a very different cover.
I want to say
Oh,
it
okay,
is.
okay. The cover.
Yeah, 1996.
Okay. Man, covers have
1996.
changed.
Yeah, they have.
Wait, let me see it again. The cover.
Look at here's another one from that same
I
era.
like these. I really like these covers.
Yeah.
Sure.
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 Can I tell you something else? Wait,
Magic.
something I noticed. Okay, everyone knows I love this book.
I love this book.
This is a
It's
book you will
so
be able
good.
to find on the pages tomorrow. And I was looking at it the other day, and I was like, okay, I have these cute little cards it came with. Look at them.
Oh,
Okay,
so sexy.
I was like looking at this. There's like a like what should be a step
back.
right here,
Mm-hmm.
and instead it's just like a praise, which is nice. But I was like, give me a sexy photo.
Yeah. I okay, so for anyone who hasn't yet read this book, it's amazing.
Mhm.
I have two friends who just started reading it, and I told them they have to read it, and it's so sexy, and the banter is so good.
Yeah.
And they've been melting down in my DMs, which is, as you guys know, it's the most satisfying
Best
feeling
feeling.
when you like recommend a book and people read it and they just like lose their mind to you in private. I just love it.
That book is great.
It's so good.
And the next one is going to be
Oh my God, On the Hustle.
also
I was just gonna ask when that comes out.
So good. October, I think.
October.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
I know.
She's fast.
She's
Mhm.
fast. What's a step back? Somebody said this is a great question. Wait,
Oh, here. Oh no, I got one.
Yeah.
Soulmate.
I got
It
one.
has one.
here is
Oh, look at you.
okay.
Oh wait,
When
I got
you-
that one too.
Yeah, when you open, like when you have a historical and then you open it and there's like the sexy photo, that's called the step back. Right?
This is Callie and Ralston.
Yes.
And you can't get this anymore. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, you can find it
Really?
on like eBay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Hallie and Beast.
Mhm.
And this is Hattie and Beast, and you might be able to get Love Sweet Arrow. You could call them and say,
Yeah.
hey, Love Sweet Arrow, what do you have as Sarah's that has a step back?
Yeah.
Heartbreaker does not have a step back, but it does have a back.
Yeah.
It has a
And I
back.
don't know if you can see, but his hand is really going for gold there.
Wow. All right, there.
So I had that on my table the other day, and Mr. Reed's Romance was like, is this Sarah's new book? And he's like picking it up, and then he's like reading the back, and he was like, and then he just like walked away to think whatever thinky thoughts he was thinking.
I thought that Sarah got to be there for like the photo shoot and
Yeah.
I did. Not
That's
You're like,
not
no,
this
put
one.
your
This
hands
was a
here.
pandemic one. But
Yeah.
this one,
really grab it.
I was there for this, and it
Okay.
was hot.
Okay. We have a
This
couple
man
questions-
hugged me, and he
Oh.
made me feel like,
feelings.
you know how
Did you
romance
feel warm and
heroines are
protected
always
in his-
like, he hugged me and I felt small. Like that's not common for me. And I was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
That's
I mean,
Okay,
what's up.
someone
hug.
wants to know if you have any, if Word has any of your covers with step backs. I think they do. Like most of your covers have step backs.
Yeah, but what's left?
Yeah, they're
I
not.
will tell you, Word has a copy of One Good Earl Deserves a Lover with a step back, which I haven't seen in a long time. And they also have some 11 Scandals with step backs, and everything else you'll have to ask them for.
Are they not printing them on the newer ones?
Step backs are
Is that
gone.
because like printing, there are some like they're like, okay, we're just not gonna be able to do the embossing, like a pandemic thing?
I think it was a pandemic thing that now is just
A thing.
Okay.
it was lost to the ages.
Yeah. So
So
if you're
save your step backs, everyone.
Okay.
And don't throw them out. Like if you have a step back on a book and you're never going to read it and you want to get rid of it, bring it to a used bookstore or a library or put it in a little free library. Don't toss it.
Yeah. Or send it to us.
Yeah. Or send it to Jen.
I was like, listen, I have a lot of, look at what else. Someone did send this to me. This does not have a step back, but check out this
Look at that. It
Joanna
doesn't need
Lindsay,
one.
everybody.
Wow.
Oh,
Right?
Look, that there's Something Wilder. I want a mass market of Something Wilder with just like making out in the sage bush.
Hello. That sounds amazing. Okay. We have a couple of questions in the question and answer thing at the bottom, right? Someone asked, what day is the Printers Row panel? That's a Chicago question. We think it's Saturday, right? And Sarah and Adriana will be there. I'm not sure who else is on that panel.
You can follow Printers Row, and it is definitely the 10th.
Okay.
It's got to be the 10th because I'm leaving on the 11th in the morning. So it's the 10th.
There you go. Do you have any recs for series that really deliver a satisfying arc or journey? Sarah's series always deliver on this, especially the Rules of Scoundrels. I have been rereading the Ravenels in audio.
Oh yes.
And
the audio is so good.
Audio is so good. It's the same one who does Sarah's audio now.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, Mary Jane Wells.
Oh, that's the one I bought all of them when we were all talking about it in text. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like in the first book, West Ravenel is like this drunken lout. And then now I'm on his book, which is called Devil's Daughter. And he's just like, and it's because we've seen him like growing and changing over these 3 or 4 books. And so I really think this series is great. So it starts off with Cold Hearted Rake, and the second book, Marrying Winterborn, is going to be our first read along of season 5. So you should for sure, if you have not read The Ravenels by Lisa Kleypas, that will really deliver the whole arc that you're looking for.
I've got one too, which is Kristen Callahan's VIP series.
Yeah.
The first 3. There are more, but I think she conceived of it originally as the first 3, and it's very clear. Check your content warnings because the whole series is predicated on the attempted suicide of one of the members of the band, but it is a rock star romance, and it begins with Idol, coasts right through Managed, which is Jen's favorite.
My favorite.
And then ends with Fall, and the hero of Fall is the lead singer of the band who attempted suicide when he was prior to the first book. And it's great and emotional, and he does so much work on page, and it's delightful.
Yeah, that's a great.
One of my favorite series is the Marked Men series by Jay Crownover, and the first one is called Rule, and it's sort of like tattoo bad boy, but he's like smart and misunderstood, and like has a lot of like hidden depths, and it's just the trope that I really love, and she does it really well. Anyway, there's a ton of books. My favorite in the series is Rowdy, but they all have like a single name title, and they're just really great. They're a lot of fun. They're super readable. I don't know how many there are. A lot.
I have not read a ton of series books, and the one that kills me that I have not read is Immortals After Dark.
Oh my God.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think you
don't have to read them all at once, though.
Yeah, you don't.
It's so intimidating.
But you will probably.
And I love Cressley so much. And I've read a bunch of her stuff. I've read like her YA, her what is the contemporary the series called?
The
Professional
Game Maker series.
Yeah,
Maker,
okay.
yeah.
But I have not read Immortals After Dark, and you guys
Yeah.
started a freaking podcast for it, and I have not read them, and I'm just like, I
Now,
need somebody
Christina,
to do a
are
buddy
you-
read with me.
are
Save
you-
it for retirement.
Yeah, exactly. Are you an audiobook listener at all? Because I do really like the audio. If you're an audio fan, try
does
I
down
have
on
them
audio.
all on audio.
Oh, you just have to listen. Okay.
Yeah, okay. They're just so long.
This is my kind of romance buyer right there. I'll be like, yeah, I have not read that series, and I'll be like, I own them all.
No,
Okay.
everything.
But here's the other thing too. So the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning, I feel like everybody's read it. It's bonkers, but it's
I don't
really
think that's
fun.
true at this point.
I don't
It's
think it's
so
true
fun.
A
anymore.
certain generation of us.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I mean is like if I'd said this like 10 years ago, everybody'd be like,
Everybody
yeah.
would, yeah.
But it's such a great paranormal series. And I mean, there are issues with it that I think probably would like be updated in the modern day, but for the most part, it really holds up. And Barron's is such a great hero.
You do think it holds up?
Yeah, in terms of like readability and fun. I mean, there's some stuff that it's like,
I mean, right. I think when you read
it's
older
of a
romance-
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Another series, if you know what, a series I really like is the I talked about a lot, the Jesse Mihalik series that starts off with Polaris Rising, maybe. I really like sci-fi better than fantasy, and I feel like it's harder to find. I mean, you can find alien romances on like a planet or whatever, but you know, in terms of what you can get in your bookstore, and it's 3 siblings who are essentially like the highest ranking families of the like imperial, you know, like outer space lands or whatever. And so the von Habsburgs or something. And so they're like space princess, like kind of space opera, like big adventure series. And the way I sometimes tell people about it is like they're pretty low heat. I mean, there's like a sex scene on page, but like one is it's like imagine if it was like about Han Solo, but like a woman as the main character. And like I really love that whole like vibe. And the second book is about the sister who is about Bianca, is my favorite because it's like she has this really deep, dark secret she can't tell her family about because she knows how upset they will get. So I love that. I love when someone's like, I am broken inside, but I can't tell my family because they will be so upset. I just have to hold all my pain in, like put it in my veins. I want it.
I think the Court of Thorns and Roses series is really good because the second book, she does something so crazy that you think would never work, and it is better than the first one, and that just never happens ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't want to say what it is that she does if people haven't read it, but it's one of those that's like also intimidating if you have not started it. Those books are so big.
They're like Bible paper. The pages are so thin.
Yeah, they printed on like really thin kind of Bible paper so they can fit more on the shelf.
Listen, Cindy is a librarian from out in Romayville near here, and she says, I love the Prime Dating Agency series. I'm like, what's that? Just like those 3 words, Prime Dating Agency. What's that?
I'm going to get it right now.
I was like, who's the author? Cindy. The Rogues Gone Dirty series. Listen, Cindy, put the authors.
Join us.
Cindy,
get Cindy up here.
You guys, if you are in the Chicago area, I will be at the Romeoville Library with Cindy again. I did like a Valentine's Day event, and it was really fun, and we're going to do it again.
Oh my God. The first one that comes up, there's like a lizard man on the cover. So I married a lizard man is the first book.
I married a lizard man.
I married a Naja.
Oh, the hidden
I married a bird man. I married a minotaur. A merman.
Billy is reminding us that one lucky attendee will win a 3-month subscription to Libro.fm. So amazing. You can listen to all these books in audio. That's so generous. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sarah, before we go, I know we were started late, so we're running a little over. We want to hear from you all about what you are currently working on or what maybe you can tell us about that might be coming up next.
I'll go because it's fast for me.
Okay.
Good.
Heartbreaker's out on Tuesday. I'm working on book 3 in the Hell's Bells series, which will be out next summer. Imogen's book.
Is it Imogen's book? Okay. That book is going to be bananas, and I cannot wait for it. No pressure.
Literally, I don't think I've ever like wanted a book more than I want Imogen and Tommy.
Really? Why, Jen? I wonder.
She's
Because
pure
I'm selfish.
chaos.
I keep saying it's Imogen. No. You know what it is? I think so it's funny that Christina said she doesn't read a lot of series. I love in a series where you're like, when are we gonna get that person's book, right? Like that to me is something that's like so exciting. And so I'm really excited about it. But also, yeah, I just love the whole idea of her just being like a pure chaos agent and like blowing up his jail and him just being like, I love it. Jail. It's amazing. I can't. There's a very good chapter in Heartbreaker for my other fellow Tommy and Imogen fans.
You guys haven't
How
gotten
far
there yet.
in?
Okay, so speaking of a character where you look forward to their book, what we are working on right now is edits on Fizzy's book. And Fizzy is the best friend character from the Soulmate Equation. We actually had never planned to write a second book in like a companion novel, but we had every event we had for Soulmate, people asked for Fizzy's book, and we were like, maybe. And then we had an idea that came to us this fall, and we were like, okay, we have to do it. So it's done. I think I say this a lot, but I really feel like this might be my favorite book that we've ever written. And
Fizzy's
Jen has
just
read
so
it.
I've read it, and it's
She's edited
awesome.
it because she's brilliant. And so that comes out
I
next
can't
day.
wait. When do
Is
I
it
get
May?
it?
You have a date for it already?
You get it very soon. I think May 16th. It's like that same week that we did before. So, but
To start your summer right.
that's
Yeah.
right. Sarah, I will send it to you as soon as it's clean, which will be early next week.
I want it in my eyeballs.
All right. Let me look at the questions one last time before we go. Okay. Oh, will there be a list with all the recs? I don't know. So Billy might be able to weigh in the comments, but I think this is recorded. And so we could check the recording. But I don't know that anybody, maybe we can go back to the chat. I assume it would be there. Okay, we talked about Histrom quite a lot. Setting his character in romance novels. Why don't you just listen to Fated Mates on Wednesday? Wait, this is a great question to end on. I love it. Chelsea G, you're my favorite. Favorite instances of the use of symbolism in front of your favorite romance novels?
Oh my God.
I like it. Like, end with a big one. You know who is great at this? We talk about it all the time. Lisa Kleypas.
Yeah, she loves a talisman.
She loves a talisman. Yeah. I think that's really true. What did I read recently where I was like, oh.
I mean, Kate Claiborne is also very good at symbolism.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She puts thought into every word she writes in a way that her brain just works differently.
Which is funny because she does the exact same thing in text box.
I know.
And I love it so much.
Yeah, that's good.
You'll be like, apricots. And she's like, here's the story.
Well, listen, I talked about a magical tiger, so I feel like I have really done my duty on the symbolism front.
That's true.
Really delivered. You know, what I'm going to recommend is A Heart of Blood and Ashes.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Boom. Good.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Jen and I flipped our lids for this book right at the beginning of the pandemic because it was just like the perfect, fierce, angry, like exciting. I'd never read anything like it. It's the first in a series by Milla Vane, and it is a high fantasy romance, which if you listen to Fated Mates, you know that's like not a thing that we ever really do. So, and it is amazing. The heroine is so strong and she's so like centered and so emotionally powerful and amazing in every way. And she basically approaches the hero. He kills her brother and she basically is like, thank you so much for killing my brother. Now I need you to take me back to your world. And
there's an issue with trust for a little while, which is understandable.
A big issue with trust. He thinks that her family did kill his parents, and he thinks that she is part of the reason why. So he can't stand her, but then of course they fall in love. And there is so much symbolism in this book from the start to the finish related to the world, our world, their world, the way that religion and faith and power works in their world, and it's so sexy and so smart and also like so exciting. I read the whole thing on a plane and I was obsessed.
Yeah. Most importantly is that somebody said the blood hand job.
Right. So he kills her brother. She is traveling with her brother and he murders her brother in front of her. And she's like, thank you. Like, basically, she's like, you freed me from these terrible people. And he's like, no, I don't trust you. And she gives him a hand job. And the lube is the blood of her brother. And look,
I hope everybody was watching Christina's face that whole time.
I wish I had a screenshot of that for like memes.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. You know what? You think you're not gonna love it, and then you read it and you do. That's all. That's all I'll say about that.
It's
you know, we talk a lot.
I want to read it because I want to read how somebody makes this work.
It's amazing.
It's sexy, but it's like not. It's all about power, which is
sexy.
Like symbolism.
I'm like, yeah, power's kind of sexy. Sorry. Okay. Anybody have any last? Okay, listen, everybody,
gone full.
Go out and buy a book from C. Christopher Rice, please, because we're really sad he wasn't here. I sent him an email and was like, third time's going to be the charm, and we're going to get him on the show, or we're going to have him do something live with us. I believe in us. Buy something Wilder. Yeah. Buy Heartbreaker. Go to your local independent bookstore tomorrow when they open and buy away. And if you can't do that, get on Libro FM and download books or buy books online. Basically, that's all we want and all we care about.
That's right.
Anybody else?
Hang on, I'm getting Christopher's books.
I'm just saying thank you for having us. This has been really fun.
Thank you for coming.
I could just sit and listen to you guys talk. It's a good thing you have a podcast.
You can. You don't have to. Yeah.
You could also just call us. I mean, Christopher's books. The first in this, it's the Sapphire Cove series by C. Travis Rice. The first is Sapphire Sunset. If you listen to Fated Mates, we talked about that on the Sex on the Beach episode. The second is Sapphire Spring. That's Lauren's favorite. And then
thank you for getting the titles right, because I got them wrong, but that is awesome.
That's not brand.
And the third is coming in March, and it's called Sapphire Storm. And this series has a little bit of, it's not like super romantic suspensey, but there's like a little thread of it, and it'll just give you a lot of Nora Roberts, but make it gay is like the exactly really the vibe here.
Yep, it's great.
Thank you, everyone. We had a great time. Have a wonderful Bookstore Romance Day.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, independent booksellers.
All right. I don't know how